Good afternoon guys, and welcome to a fantastic video for Motorhome Retrofits. We're really excited about this one. Hopefully you can see it. And the reason being is we have had this vehicle in for the last week. We have removed these monstrous factory coach light wing mirrors, and these were originally mounted like this and rather large and an eyesore. Now this customer approached us because everyone else had said no, whereas we love a challenge here at Motorhome Retrofits, and we said sure, we'll cut your wing mirrors off with the angle grinder and supply and fit some super duper HD cameras. And what we've gone for is dual lens camera, so that's distant view, nearby view, both sides connected to a 12.3 inch HD monitor. So what we're going to do is we'll have a show, just look around both the cameras quickly and then show you inside. We're now on the left-hand side of the vehicle, which in the UK would be passenger, but this is the driver's side on this particular vehicle. The cut and the plastic fascia is slightly different. We've got an access door or entry light that we've had to make do and retain on this side because there's quite a large hole in the casing. But what we have done there is try to make it again as neat as possible. Where we've used the angle grinder to cut the old mirrors off, we've used rust prevention and then some black hammerite paint just to take your eye away from that, but also to protect it because again open to the elements for rain and the winter months. But at least we've done our bit to try and hide it as much as possible. As I said earlier in the video, there was no way of removing the bolts and the main frame of the wing mirrors. It could have potentially done some serious damage to the aluminium lining of the motorhome, which we didn't want to do, so we've just worked around it. Now, in terms of bragging rights, I'm pretty confident to say that I don't think this has been tried yet in the UK. We've not seen a video for it. This is a 2022 Carthago C-line. E-line. I can't even get the vehicle right. But most importantly, this is like many other motorhomes on the road. And this is a left-hand drive, so a left hooker. But either way, whether you're driving on the right or the left, the visibility from the factory wing mirrors were quite poor. We've already got a couple of other people saying, look, wow, this is really exciting. We're definitely interested if this works. Now, just to give you a bit of spec on the cameras that we fitted, also within the field of view of Richard using the camera here, we've also tried to refit the plastic housing for the original mirror to make it look and feel as seamless as it possibly can, because you've still got the remaining arm bolted to the motorhome that you can't remove, because that would then potentially do damage to the vehicle. Now, if we concentrate back on these two cameras, these are the short arm model. There are long arm cameras for bigger vehicles or more of the commercial side of things, but these are 1080p, that's full HD dual lens cameras. They're using CMOS technology and the Super HD Starlight with a viewing angle of 140 degrees. Now, if you also notice that both the cameras can be fully adjusted for personal driving position, but also you'll see that you've got a little LED built in on the distance view and underneath facing the floor for the nearby view or the near view. Now, how that's triggered is that's triggered for when we put it into reverse gear. Those lights will come on day and night, and it just means that it's going to give you an extra bit of use at night as well, because in the UK I don't think it's really potentially a good idea that those are on whilst you're driving. But we haven't done full testing of the system on the roads or motorways yet, so we'll let this customer do that and report back to us as well, which is really also quite exciting. Now, both the cameras have normal and mirror view capability. As I said, the twin LEDs are set on a reverse trigger already, and you do have an additional input on the monitors for an additional reversing camera or cameras, which is pretty cool. You've got built-in camera heating, which in the UK, and don't get me started on the UK weather, is really handy, because in the sort of more wet days, rainy days, winter days where it's a little bit damp, then the camera heating is going to help with just drying out any moisture on the camera lens. Automatic exposure, wide dynamic range and auto dimming are the specifications for cameras, and as you can see from the video shot, we've really tried our best to make it look as seamless as possible, and of course the word sexy comes into it, because this is a really good looking motorhome. We've taken off the big bulbous wing mirrors and fitted it with some beautiful little dual lens cameras that really make it look nice. Now, next stage of the video is we're going to jump in and show you them working inside. Right guys, exciting bit, come on in. Right, so we're now sat in the vehicle. Yesterday it was raining, today is a lovely sunny day, but of course on sunny days you do get an awful lot of shadow and glare, but it doesn't really matter, because most importantly this is what we've got. We have wired it in two different ways. So we have wired it in through the ignition key. So if I take the ignition key off now, the system will shut down after 2 minutes and power is off. But we've also fitted a neat little switch on the dashboard, and that neat little switch means that because the actual monitors have SD card capability built in, we can take the key out of the ignition, we can then flick the switch over onto the dashboard that then runs it completely off the leisure battery, so that this could be used as a security product as well. Now, both the monitors, which I haven't even spoken to you about yet, but both of the monitors have SD card capability, 128 gig of storage per monitor. And that means that if you wanted to, without the key in the ignition and any worry of any draining of vehicle battery, we can have this system on. Not only can we have it on, but we could actually even turn the monitors off and the cameras are still recording. Let's talk about the monitors slightly, a tiny bit. So they are 12.3 inch portrait vertical monitors, and they are 720p LCD panels. So that's a liquid crystal display panel, and as you can see, because they're connected to the full HD 1080p cameras, the display is beautiful. They've gone for a slightly anti-glare display on the mirrors themselves, but really in a motorhome like this you won't really suffer too much, and again, if you're driving and you've got the sunroof vent open, then you can just shut that, which will also help with other bits and pieces and glare. Now, if you follow us on YouTube, you know that we do our 360 system on a regular basis, and again, depending on where you have the screen, that could differ with sunlight and other light things. Now, both the monitors, just dropped my piece of paper, both the monitors have built-in light sensors, which again means that when you're driving at night, the screen will just slightly dim down so that it's not going to cause a distraction for you. They've both got built-in microphones and they've both got built-in speakers, and the reason for that is that I have actually turned off the voice record on this because I don't feel that you need it, and it's potentially a waste of your memory card storage, but it is recording what's going on down both the vehicles on the cameras, and if you want to, you've got also easy video playback on here, so you could pull over to the side of the road, whatever side of the vehicle you've had a situation, you could potentially go back and play that back and listen to the audio if you needed to for whatever reason. As I said earlier, the SD card storage is 128 gig, and you've got everything built in here to this monitor. Now, we'll just talk just ever so slightly about the mounting. This has probably been one of the most challenging things that we've done in the 21 years that we've been around, and that was because we've got an electric blind. So I'm just going to pull the blind down now. Now, if you can see in the background there, we've got a blind. Now, there is no possible way that we could have fitted these monitors to work in conjunction with the blind and this massive double bed above your head. So what we've done is we've worked with the owner and said, look, we can adjust the monitors so that they are tight enough that they don't wobble, but loose enough for you to use both hands to just slightly adjust for when you want to pull the blind down. Also, at the same time when you want to use the bed, because there is no way in a million months of Sundays that you're going to get those monitors fitted on there and have the blind and the bed working in harmony. It's just impossible. We've tried it. You could have the monitors lower down, but you're limited with the length of cable. But more importantly, you wanted to have the mirrors, and the customer wants to have the mirrors on the monitors at a sensible height for driving. Because he said before that the wing mirrors, you're physically taking your eyes off the road to look at the wing mirrors, so they were not only dangerous, but they weren't very practical. So here we are with the electronic blind that's sitting behind there. You can't see any cabling, and the reason being is we've gone to the full extent of removing these panels on both sides of the blinds, and we have drilled a hole big enough for all of the camera connections to go through and be dropped down from the front. This looks as factory as we can get it. Now, I say this is on a regular basis. We don't have a magic wand. We'd love to have a magic wand, but we feel this is an absolute highly professional solution that's certainly tested us, but this customer who's collecting today is going to be absolutely chuffed and over the moon with what we've done. As you can see on the actual mirror itself, you've got your distance view. Now, when the customer does turn up, we'll adjust these camera lenses to suit him. We can see clearly back here from the ground up to the sky, which covers your motorway driving, dual carriageway, and then you've got your blind spot. Now, as far as we're concerned, this blind spot again can be adjusted so that there's no overlap here, and it just means that right now, if I was to open this door, okay, so I've just opened the Habitation door here, or the driver's door, and you've got full blind spot area covered. This means that if anybody is gone past your distance view but is in your blind spot, it doesn't matter, because you're going to see that vehicle in either one of those monitors. But again, it's fully adjustable. And the same for the right hand side. Now, looking at the right hand side mirror monitor as we speak, that's a really clean view. So hopefully Richard can zoom in on that just to show the capability of this particular camera. It's on zoom 1 at the moment, and you can actually press the button and you can zoom in on the monitor itself. We've got, normally would have a little red dot at the top to say it's recording, but there's no SD cards in there at present, but we will be doing that. Now, we've already, as I said to you earlier, we've got a couple of people that are interested. So the more that we do this, the more we're going to get creative with fitting and other mounts and mounting options. But if you are already liking what you see, the quality of our work, and of course the functionality of this system, then please do get in touch with us. This is a 2022 Carthago C-line. It's come to us from quite far away, and we have fitted dual lens full HD cameras with night vision connected to dual 12.3 inch 720p HD monitors with recording capability. If you want to get rid of your wing mirrors, or if you want to change the look of your vehicle and bring it into the 21st century, get in touch with us. Website link is in the bio. Keep watching us on social media, YouTube, and thanks for watching.